Good afternoon from London, and hello from me, Dr. Dermot Hudson, the Chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche Idea, Chairman of the Korean Friendship Association of the UK, and official delegate of the KFA for the United Kingdom, and President of the Association for the Study of Songun politics of the UK. And today I decided to make a video denouncing the regime change moves of the group of 7 of the DPRK. And as people will know, recently, on the 14th of May, the foreign ministers of the so-called Group of 7, which consists of a number of big imperialist countries such as the US, Britain and France and Japan and a few others, what some people would describe as first world nations, nations that, oppress the third world. They issued a communique which defamed and slandered People's Korea. The communique called for the unilateral disarmament of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, as well as for increasing sanctions against the DPRK. With reference to the test of the ICBM by the DPRK, which is referred to in the communique of the Group of 7 foreign ministers, a statement on the website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, MFA, of the DPRK pointed out that the US is the mastermind of increased tension on the Korean Peninsula, saying that a few days ago the US deployed a nuclear aircraft carrier strike group to the waters of the Korean Peninsula. And even at this moment, the US is hell-bent on the military exercises against the DPRK, staging a combined air force exercise with South Korea. It is only too natural that we steadily bolster up our military power to cope with the ever-worsening military imbalance in the region, as well as insecurity and the volatile situations created on the Korean Peninsula. It is our steadfast position that it should become a legitimate right to self-defence and a core state policy for a sovereign state to make efforts to possess its military strength, which it should never miss, be it in a peaceful or confrontational situation. And, that's the end of the quotation from the DPRK MFA site. The DPRK MFA also stressed that it is the countries of the G7 that have carried out the biggest number of missile tests in the world and have also sold many weapons to South Korea. And, South Korea is actually one of the world's biggest military spenders. It's in the top 10 of military spenders of the world, and it's the G7 countries that have been supplying weapons to South Korea. The G7 also slandered the DPRK over the issue of human rights. There is no human rights issue in the DPRK because it is a people-centred socialist country which guarantees the right to work, the right to healthcare, education and housing. And it should also be mentioned that the DPRK has dealt with the sort of issue of the epidemic far better than any Western countries. Marshal Kim Jong-un has called a number of meetings. He has gone to look at pharmacies on the spot, and the DPRK, after the outbreak of the disease, went on over to lockdown, whereas, you know, many Western countries were very slow to take measures against the COVID-19 outbreak, and often those measures that were taken in the Western countries, the group of 7 countries, were in fact very half-hearted and somewhat irresolute. The G7's slanders about human rights in the DPRK, as well as its calls for the DPRK to open up to the so-called humanitarian aid, plus the oft-repeated call for the DPRK's unilateral disarmament, is basically a regime change strategy. You know, that's what it is in black and white terms, a regime change strategy. The G7 is aiming at the overthrow of the socialist system in the DPRK, which is the guarantor of the independent rights of the people. The G7 wants to make the DPRK an aid dependency of imperialism and a colony. We should do everything we can to foil the G7's sinister and insidious moves for regime change in people's Korea. We appeal to you to increase efforts to defend people's Korea, and we in KFA UK and our allied organisations believe in defending people's Korea with no ifs or buts, and defending people's Korea almost 24/7. And if you believe in people's Korea and its socialist system, if you believe in the DPRK's right to independence, please join us and support us. Thank you for listening to this video. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel Songun 007, please consider subscribing, and also to our affiliated channel, Korean Friendship Association of the UK. And we really need activity, and more activity. So don't just subscribe to the channel and click like. You know, please share these videos, tell your friends about them, you know, and spread the word as widely as you can. In fact, one idea that's been suggested is that people put comments on social media sites and on media sites supporting the DPRK, and we're going to be doing our bits in supporting the DPRK. We've got a meeting in the west of England, in Somerset, on the 28th of May. We hope if you live in the west of England, you'll make an effort to attend that meeting. We hope to see you there. And we're also going to have some online activities, and we'll be having a joint meeting with KFA Netherlands. So, you know, and I will be making a few more videos. We do not ask for donations, but you can donate to KFA UK. There's a link on one of the websites, and you know, you can also buy books from our lulu.com bookstore and tell your friends about them. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and also thanks for your support. We're up to 1,581 subscribers. You know, let's try to get more by the end of the year. Have a great day, and goodbye.